All right, in part one's video of Mike's Mustang's rear suspension installation, we installed the subframe connectors. Why I'm laughing will make sense at the end of the video when the bloopers come on. But anyhow, we installed the subframe connectors, the plates that go on the side. We drilled our holes that go through the body with our plates up top. We also installed our K-member. And then we stopped because we were looking for a rear end. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to install the link bars, which are these here. We will need to do some welding, so these will go right about here. We'll need to install the gussets onto the K-member bar. These tie out like that, and then this is actually the lower point for the rear end link bars, and these are adjustable there, so you can see there. So let's go ahead and get these kind of fitted up there. It comes with these brackets here, these tabs. So all right, we got the 2 link bars installed. See here. So this tab right here is the one that we're going to weld, and we're going to get the TIG welder out and weld this out. I just put it on there for now just to test it, to make sure that it touched where it needed to touch and it wasn't off center anywhere. Same on this side here. We're going to weld right about here. Now the key to these before you weld these is you don't want to cinch these all the way down to where the bar won't spin, because what will happen is when you weld it, when you weld on this side, it's going to open it up. When you weld on this side, it's going to close it. So there is going to be some flex in this tab, so we don't want to get it all tight and then weld it, because what will happen is when we go to install this, it's going to be too tight and we won't be able to get that bushing in. So we're going to leave it a little loose. It still moves freely. I'll clean this out and then get the TIG welder out, and we'll TIG both of these. All right, got both areas nice and clean. I'll go ahead and hit that with acetone since I touched it. But here we go. So I got the welder ready. I'll go ahead and start welding these in. All right, there we go. Got them TIG welded, both sides. So what we'll do now is we'll take the bars off so I can weld on the inside on both sides. All right, now that we have those brackets welded onto the K-member, what we have to do now is assemble our, sorry, there's some cats over there. Assemble our actual torque tube. What this entire suspension is built off of is this beefy torque tube that runs along the bottom side of the drive shaft and just ties everything together. So what we need to do is install the torque arm slide tube, and this is actually pretty neat. So what happens is, you know, this is tied to the front of the K-member. The back will have 2 points that mount to the rear end, some diagonal bars and then a lower side. What happens is when you take off and you torque, if this piece is solid, it's just, you're just going to feel everything, and it's just going to have that wheel hop. Back in the days, you know, you used to cow tracks. You remember cow tracks, right? So this tube here, this slider, actually absorbs that torque. And if you notice here, this slides. All right, so kind of hard to tell, but it slides. So what we need to do, there you go, you see it better right there. We need to put some anti-seize. And this is actually serviceable, so you can actually grease it up, keep it nice and movable. So what we'll do is we will put the slider in there, and then we can bolt up this end to the part of the K-member. You ever seen those videos where the second you open up a can of anti-seize, you end up looking like, even the smallest amount, you end up looking like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. And that's kind of what I feel like. So remember, less is more. You don't have to, goop it all up with anti-seize. Less is more. So there we go. Okay. And if you can see here on this video, make sure you can. It moves. All right, so let's get this over to the car so we can bolt it up on the front side. All right, so now you can see how it's starting to all tie in together. So there's a torque tube, K-member, and then these links here will go to the bottom of the rear end. So that'll give you an idea right there. Guys, do I have something to show you? We got a rear end. Man, I'm so excited. So took off yesterday, got the rear end from Summit. It's a fabricated Rhodes Racing 9-inch housing. It looks so good. Let me show it to you. Oh yes, look at that. That looks so good. Yes, sir. Cool, so specs on the housing. It's a Rhodes Racing 9-inch fabricated housing. We're gonna weld in the axle flanges on both sides. It's got a fill up top, drain at the bottom. The only thing we're gonna have to change up is take a little bit off of this bracket. I don't know if you can see that, but this one hangs a little lower, and that's because the factory Ford 9-inch is more of a oval shaper on the bottom, so that offset kind of compensates for that roundness. Ours is flat across, so we're just gonna need to take a little bit off of this tab here. Obviously, it's just, it's being held up right there. I just wanted to show you guys what we bought. I'm probably gonna end this video short and then go to part 3 where we start really fitting this 9-inch housing in. But that gives you kind of an idea of what we're looking at. Yeah, this was a much better decision. All right, guys, part 2 is going to be short. We got the housing installed, very loosely installed, nothing's welded in. But yesterday, day before yesterday actually, we were installing the lower link bars and the torsion bar, and then I just ran a Summit, got the rear end housing. I went to Mike's place, pick up supercharger. We got a supercharger. So showed him the rear end. Today we got it in there. It looks really good. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna jump to part 3, start doing part 3 footage, and that's gonna be the upper coilover bars, panhard bar, sway bar. We also need to get axle flanges. One thing I had told Mike is when going with this rear end, we can actually probably get just a little bit more wheel size. So I'm gonna measure, and then here in the next couple days, I'm gonna get Mike some wheel spec info, and we might actually go with an 11-inch tire in the back instead of a 10 that we had thought about. So, like I said, short video, part 2, but part 3 is gonna be really good because we're gonna have a lot of footage with all the other accessories being installed now that we have the axle housing here. So we got some stuff we gotta order, and thanks again for subscribing. We got like 5 new subscribers here in the last week from part 1, so that's actually pretty cool. But if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll keep putting out the content as best we can. If you made it this far, got a treat for you. So part 1 video, or one of the videos I had sent to Mike, he had said, man, you're very natural on camera. And boy, let me tell you, that is far from the truth. It takes so many takes. I feel so uncomfortable in front of the camera. I stumble, I lose my train of thought. So here's just a couple clips just to add humor to the video of me just completely losing it. Even like right now, I don't know what to say, but just enjoy it and look for part 3 coming soon. A couple days ago we installed the front suspension for the rear suspension, we installed the, what are they called? Oh, subframe connectors. Duh. Part one of Mike's rear suspension. Mike's rear suspension. Not Mike's rear suspension, the Mustang's rear suspension. Take 100. Are you serious? I have it upside down. Cut.